everyone, it is Beth with Flying by the Seat of My Plants, and this weekend was a busy weekend for me, and I'm still working on preserving. So I just wanted to go over a few things with you. I did harvest my carrots, so I brought this in just to show you. With the carrots, it's really important to, I went ahead and sliced these up so I can use it in soups, I can use it in stews, I can use it in casseroles, roasting. So, but one of the important steps with freezing is blanching your vegetables too. So, I want to share a website with you. I gotta let Abby out and I'll be right back. Okay, so the one website is a really nice, useful tool when it comes to blanching, and that is the University of Minnesota. And here is what they have on, you can go there, they have 4-H, they have different things about preserving, and one of them is blanching, and they have blanching directions. And blanching is a must for most vegetables to be frozen. It slows or stops the enzyme action, which can cause loss of flavor, color, and texture. Just like if you put a banana on the counter, those enzymes are still working, and that's why after probably, I don't know, like a week, it starts turning black. So anyhow, just taking that, how the banana deteriorates, that's what would happen to your vegetables. And like even with peppers, right now I'm working on making some more jalapeno poppers. I did a video on that. Right now I am preparing them to stuff them. This is a Craig's Grande. Look how big that is. I let these go full size. So I'm still going to cut them in half like I did in my video, last one. But that, it consists of cream cheese, cheddar cheese, shredded cheddar cheese, and bacon. And also another recipe I'm going to add, or another ingredient I'm going to add to that. But getting back to the blanching really quick. Okay, so the blanching time is very important and varies with the vegetable inside. So if you go to universityminnesota.com, it will bring up a lot of different vegetables, a whole list, and what the time frame is that you need to blanch. So I went ahead and I did blanch the carrots, which actually makes them a brighter orange. And the blanching time on the carrots was 2 minutes. So what you do is you bring the water up to a full boil. Then you put your prepared carrots in. So I did use a vegetable peeler, peeled it, and then I cut in 2 slices. And once your water comes to a full boil, and I did add salt to the water too. You don't have to, but I did. So I brought it up to a full boil, dropped probably half of the batch of carrots into the boiling water, and then you wait for it to come back to a boil, and then you start your timer for 2 minutes, and then once the timer goes off, you take it immediately out, and I had a water bath in a big bowl with ice cubes in it, and you remove the carrots from the boiling water and drop them in the ice water, and this stops the cooking process. And then I just repeated. And so anyhow, that's how I did my carrots. So I wanted to share that with you. And also, the blanching time is very important and varies with the vegetable and size. Under blanching, so let's say if I only did that for 1 minute on my carrots, stimulates the activity of enzymes and is worse than no blanching. So over blanching causes loss of flavor, color, vitamins, and minerals. So it's really important to pay attention to the time. So if you go on that website, if you're looking for how long should I blanch, you could do peppers, you could do the carrots, they have asparagus, they have a whole list of different vegetables, and the time. So and it has the blanching directions. And, I press the air out before I put them in these bags, before I put them in the freezer. So I'm going to go ahead and put these back in the freezer. But anyhow, I wanted to share that with you. This is all the University of Minnesota. And, you know, if you have a very large garden and you just don't have time to make something right away, or it's still 100 degrees outside and you don't want to fire up the stove, and you don't want to, you know, you can too. With this size of harvest that I got from My Carrots, to me it was easier just to freeze them, blanch them and freeze them. And I also went ahead, peppers, you don't have to blanch them. I went ahead and did slivers with my bell peppers, and I have a whole bunch more that I will be harvesting soon. So for right now, I went ahead and cut these into, you know, thin slices, and I just put them in the freezer bag. And this way I can use it for stir fry, I can add it to casserole dishes. Once it defrosts, if I want to chop them up, I can chop them up. But the strips, I think I'll get a lot of use out of already preparing them in strips before I froze them. The other thing that I did was the jalapeno peppers. I had 3 pounds that I harvested of the jalapenos. There's some that I'm still waiting on. And the ones that I'm waiting on are the orange spice jalapeno, the lemon spice jalapeno, and pumpkin spice jalapeno, and also the Count Dracula. That's also a hot pepper, and that will change color. So what I did with these jalapenos is I bagged them individually, 1 pound. I think the Cowboy Candy calls for a half a pound of jalapeno, chopped jalapeno, or sliced. A lot of people slice them. I chop them. So it's already ready. All I have to do is take it out of the bag, let it defrost. When I'm ready to make my Cowboy Candy, or adding the colored jalapenos to it, because a lot of times I double it, so I did 1 pound bags. But I can add the colored jalapeno to the recipe when those are ready to harvest. But right now they're not ready. So I don't want all these jalapenos to go bad. So right now I just froze them, but they will be canned later. So that's a nice thing about peppers. And, you know, I went ahead and I like, when I make the Cowboy Candy, I just chop mine. A lot of people like to do the little rings and slice them. And when I chop it, I have one of these things, which I absolutely love. And you just put the jalapenos on here. It's got different blades. And you just close it, and it chops it all up, and it has a little container where they fill up. And it makes life really easy when using that. So I wanted to share that about the freezing. And you can blanch your peppers. From what I understand, it's not necessary for peppers. And also I've done chopped onions, which I did not blanch. But carrots, I felt it was necessary. And, you know, other things. But right now I am, look at the size of that. That's a Craig's Grande. That is a full-size Craig's Grande. So I'm going to go ahead and make those poppers. Another thing I wanted to share as far as preserving is I went ahead and I picked, it was either 7 or 8 paprika peppers. They were red. They were ready to harvest. And so I'm going to show you what I did with that. That is paprika powder. So, and I did put a oxygen absorber in there, but I'm going to go ahead and mix that around again. But I went ahead and dehydrated it, and you dehydrate the peppers. I cut it into thin slices, put it on the dehydrator tray. There was like 3 trays that I put them on, and you want to wait, dehydrate them until you actually hear a snap, because you want it to be fully dry. So once I, you know, test it, I bent it, it snapped, meaning it is totally dry. There was no moisture in there. Then I went ahead and put it in my, I have one of those silver bullets, and powdered it up. So it smells wonderful. The paprika is, it does have a little bit of heat to it. So actually with the, I am making the jalapeno poppers, and I made a batch, which I did a video on how I do it a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. I already ate them all. So hopefully I could share these with other people, but if not, it doesn't matter. I enjoy them. I did get a different kind of bacon this time. I got a applewood smoked bacon, so I'm going to try that. But with the paprika, for the poppers, it takes cream cheese and cheddar cheese. And then I'm going to sprinkle some of this paprika on top when I fill these jalapeno poppers. And before I wrap them in the bacon, because I think it'll be a nice little addition to the flavor. So anyhow, the big thing is if you're not ready to prepare or use your fresh garden food, you can preserve it. And that's really important because I'll be using a lot of this in the wintertime. So today I'm doing more of the jalapeno poppers, of course. Then I did pick these Hungarian hot wax peppers. And I'm going to clean these out, wash them, clean them out, the seeds, and I'm going to stuff it with another recipe that I am doing today. And let me go let Kitty in. I'll be right back. Okay, so the hot Hungarian peppers, I am making, I just went on the internet, searching different recipes, and typically I will just stuff my Cubanelles with a mixture of hot and Italian sausage. And so today I will be cooking the sausage first on the stove, and then breaking it all up. And I could show you once that's all done. But anyhow, and then I have canned San Marzano that I did from last year's garden that I want to use up. And there's tomato sauce that I still have, so I'm going to add that to the sausage. And of course I'm going to add cheese. I love cheese. And so I will be stuffing these with that mixture. I have a couple of Cubanelles I picked that were ready. And this is the patty pan. So I'll be stuffing these. And I'll show you real quick. I'll bring it back when I clean this out. Because then I'll add what meat of the squash that I take out. So I could stuff it with the sausage mixture. I will take that out, but then I'll chop it up and put it back in to the squash. And then I also have some zucchini, some yellow squash, so I'll show you, when I get to that point, how it looks, what I'm doing. So anyhow, I want to share that with you. Also, I have an abundance of cucumbers, so I do want to give some to some family. And then I also made a cucumber limeade. There are recipes online to do that. And basically I used like 4 cucumbers, which I peeled, cut off the ends. And then, so 4 of them I put inside the Vitamix blender. And I added like a 1/3 cup of lime juice. And you can use fresh lime juice. I just used the store-bought lime juice, that was already in the container. A 1/3 cup of that I added. And I added a little more than a 1/3 cup of sugar. And I just liked it a little bit sweeter. And you just, you fill up your Vitamix up with the water, with the cucumbers in there, and you pulverize it, then you strain it into the pitcher. And I used, I don't know if I have it handy. I just used one of these. And I just poured it from the Vitamix. After I mixed it, pulverized the cucumbers. And you're going to have some seeds and pulp in there that I didn't want in my drink. So I just put this on the pitcher. And from the Vitamix, I added the water, pulverized it. Then I went ahead and strained it through here, which gave me about a third into my pitcher. Let me get that. So here is the limeade. It's absolutely cucumber limeade. So then I strained it into this pitcher, and then I added water to fill it. This is a 1 gallon. So I made a gallon of the cucumber limeade. And, you know, taste it. If you need to add more lime juice, add more lime juice. If you need to add more sugar, you know, it's all to your liking. So this is a delicious, a nice hydrating beverage on those hot days. And I would say this is probably good for at least a week, you know, if it lasts that long in your refrigerator. But it's nice and refreshing. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you as far as what's going on with my weekend. So I'm going to get back to making some more of these poppers, and hopefully this time I can share them with people and not eat them all by myself. And there's another recipe I'll be doing, but I'll show you that later. Okay, so I'm going to get back to this, and I might just bring it back, show you what everything looks like in the end, and I'll probably show you bits and pieces when I am making that sausage mixture that I will be stuffing the squash with. So, all right, enjoy, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, bye. Okay, I wanted to come back real quick before I move on to finishing these peppers. But with the peppers, you know, you can prepare them like I did for the cowboy candy. I chopped all of them. But you can also just freeze them whole. And to me, I like to prepare them to the way, I like to freeze them, prep them before freezing to the way I'm going to end up using it. So that's why I chop for the jalapeno. But let's say if I wanted to stuff this later on, I could throw them in whole like this. Or I can, you know, cut off the top, clean it out. Or right now I am cutting all these in half to stuff them. And then actually you can cut them in half and then, you know, remove the seeds, do the filling, then wrap it in bacon, put these back together. And you can actually put them in the freezer. You don't have to cook them yet, but at least it's all prepared. You take it out and then you cook them. But anyhow, I am going to cook these first and then freeze them. So all I have to do is take them out a few at a time, reheat them, whatever. But anyhow, I just wanted to let you know, if I wasn't ready to work on these yet, I could freeze them whole. But I want to go ahead and have some meals prepared ahead of time. And so that's why I am working on all of this today and what I've done over the weekend. So, all right. And I'll just show you bits and pieces of different things I'm doing throughout this preserving video. So, all right. So I'm going to show you this real quick, but jalapeno peppers, when I'm cleaning the seeds out and stuff, I do wear gloves. You don't want to rub your face or anything. So in case you didn't see the last video, or maybe you did, I'm just doing quick things. So I am cleaning the seeds out. This can all go in the compost when I'm done. And I just use my thumb. And I also have the cream cheese sitting out to go to room temperature, so when I mix that. But this is preparing the jalapenos to stuff them. And, you know, I cut them in half. You can cut them in half, clean them, and then put them back together if you want with a toothpick after you fill them. Clean the seeds out, fill it with the cream cheese, cheddar cheese mixture, whatever you want to do. I'm going to add some paprika to it. I think I talked about the paprika. If not, I'm going to have to go back when I review this. But anyhow, I'm going to add some of the paprika powder to the stuffed jalapeno because I think it would be absolutely delicious. So, all right, just wanted to share that real quick. Wear gloves if you're cleaning out the jalapenos, unless you're really brave. And I don't suggest it because when it hurts, it can be very painful and it can last for a couple hours. So, anyhow. I wear gloves. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and work on this. And then the next thing I'll work on is preparing the sausage filling for my squash and some of my peppers. Okay, so I got the jalapeno peppers done. The next thing I want to do, this has a little spot on it, is I'm working on the Hungarian hot peppers. And the way I'm cleaning them is cutting the top off. And then I'm going to make a slit, not all the way through, just one little slit. So I could still open it to put the sausage in there, but it's still connected to the end. And I figure I'm doing this because I have my gloves on, might as well get it over with, right? And so I just wanted to show you that, cut the top off. Just make a slit. You know, starting about that far from the tail end. This way I can open it slightly, take my thumb, scrape out those seeds. And this is going to be delicious with that sausage mixture that I'm going to stuff it with. And you can also, like, if you have like a hoagie bun, and once you get that in there, because I will put mozzarella cheese on top also, you could put these like in a hoagie bun and eat it like a sandwich. Like a sausage sub. So many things you could do with your food in preparing. So these, you know, I could stuff these. That one kind of got messed up. But anyhow, you could stuff them, and you can cook them and then freeze them, or you could stuff them and put them in the freezer, you know, with the raw mixture, and then you will pull them out and cook it according to the instructions. And but if you cook them ahead of time, then all you have to do is reheat them, let them thaw out. You know, if you're going to freeze them, let them thaw out, and then heat them up. So anyhow, I wanted to bring it back real quick on how I'm doing this, and I'll do it like this also with my Cubano peppers. I have 3 in the fridge. I'm going to go out in the garden and see if there's any more that are ready to pick. And so wanted to share that with you. Okay, going to bring it back real quick on the, this is where I'm making the cream cheese, sharp cheddar cheese mixture for the stuffing the jalapenos. And I'm going to add the paprika that I powdered up. So there's about a teaspoon, I'm going to do about a teaspoon and a half. Seal that back up. And one thing I did different from the last video is I used the block cream cheese and a thicker shredded sharp cheddar cheese. And I like the texture better. Before it was pretty whipped up. So anyhow, just showing you there's different ways. Just going to mix that all up. And I've seen some recipes, and this is all to your own taste, but I think paprika on this would be really good. Especially that fresh powdered paprika. So now I'm going to take this mixture and stuff my jalapenos. But I definitely like this texture better using the, bringing the cream cheese to room temperature and then adding the cheddar, mixing it up, rather than the whipped cream cheese. So I just want to bring it back, and I wanted to share that with you. And for anyone that didn't see the video, I'm just going to show you this real quick too. I'm just taking and stuffing the jalapeno half with that mixture. And right now I'm just stuffing all of them, and then I am going to wrap them in bacon. So, wanted to show you that. Okay, and I went ahead and I cut this bacon in 3 sections. And then I'm putting the toothpick in to hold the bacon in place. But yeah, I definitely like it better with using the black cream cheese and not the whipped cream cheese. Because this way I think it's going to be less than like a melting, where this won't like melt like the whip did. Plus it holds the chunks of the, what do you call it? Cheddar cheese. And the paprika, you know, I did add that to the mix. And the paprika pepper that I got, that I grew, it definitely has heat to it. I tasted the cream cheese mixture and my lips are still tingling. So, but I think that's going to add a lot of fun to this appetizer. Or you can actually even make a meal out of it. I mean, seriously. I mean, I typically don't eat really big meals. I like to prepare food ahead of time and just reheat things for myself. So anyhow, wanted to bring you back and talk about that paprika, show you how I did cut this bacon. And yeah, I did do a video on it, but this is a little different from the last one that I did. This is more like what I did for my nephew's graduation, where I did not use, I used the black cream cheese and just let it come to room temperature. And then of course, then I turn the oven on to 350. And I'm going to cook these probably for about, I don't know, 25 minutes to maybe 35 minutes. You just want to make sure the bacon is cooked. And on this one, I'm using a different bacon than I did on the last one. This is an Applewood smoked bacon. So that sounded really good to try. And I put it on a foil lined cookie tray. And I'm going to cook them, and then I am going to put them in the freezer when I'm done. This way I could pull out what I want. And again, you don't have to cook them. You could put in just the way they are right now, and then you would just have to cook it for let it thaw out, of course, and then just cook it according to the directions. 350, no, actually I think it was 370. 370, anywhere from 25 to 35 minutes. Maybe I will freeze some of these just the way they are. All right, so I wanted to bring you back, show you that, and I will be back. Okay, so I have 2 trays all ready to go in, and actually I checked, and it is 400 degrees that you need to cook these at. So 400 degrees, so you're gonna check on them in about 20 minutes, and then it could go as long as 35 minutes, but you wanna make sure that the bacon is cooked. That's the whole thing. So, all right, I'm gonna put these in there, and I'm just showing you a little bit as I go along. And they look absolutely delicious. And the rest of the bacon, I'm just gonna go ahead and cook that up because I will have it with my first actual tomato sandwich. when my slicing tomatoes are ready. I don't know, maybe some of you already have some ripe large tomatoes. I got ripe cherry tomatoes, but I'm still waiting on the large ones to ripen up. So anyhow, I will be cooking that too, and the next thing I'm going to work on now is the sausage. Okay, so while the stuffed jalapeno peppers are in the oven, I'm going to get started on the sausage. So these are a mild Italian, and they are, you know, in the sausage tube thing. So I just take a knife and take them out. This is a mild, and then I also bought a hot Italian, so I will be mixing that in there. And so these sausage links I bought at Costco's, and you know how everything's changing, getting more expensive, but anyhow, they used to have a six-pack of 6 links, and I just noticed they cut it down to now 4 packs at the same price. So, like, dang. Anyhow, so I am putting these into this pot, and I like it with a lot of cover on the bottom. It's a large, wide pot, pan, cast iron. So I'm going to put the sausage, take them out of the links, and then I'll be breaking it all up, so I'll bring it back for all that. Okay, so I got about 3 pounds of Italian sausage. I have about 1 pound of the hot Italian and 2 pounds of the mild. And I think that's going to be enough to stuff what I have. So what I'm going to do is start cooking this, browning it, and I'm going to go ahead and get some other ingredients ready. I have fresh garlic that I grew, so I'm going to get a couple of cloves of that ready. I'm going to go ahead and chop up some onion that I grew, and because I'll be adding that to it, and then I will be getting the tomato sauce that I canned, and then Italian seasoning, which I just have from the store. I do have this Italian seasoning, so I'll be adding that to it. Because the canned tomato sauce is just plain, I just canned it without any seasoning, and the reason why I did that is for different recipes that I could use it for and adjust it for whatever. I can use it for chili, whatever. So anyhow, all right, I'm going to get the other stuff ready. Okay, I did add some olive oil just to keep the sausage from sticking to the bottom. So when I put it in there, it starts sticking, and I'm like, so I just put a little in. And the one thing, you really want to break up your sausage. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to get back on chopping up an onion and getting the garlic ready too. Okay, this is a hard neck garlic that I grew, and it's all cured and ready. So I just want to break off some cloves so I can add it to my recipe. I think sometimes breaking up, it's a hard neck, is hard. There. Okay, I'm going to break off, or peel off the paper. Check the stove real quick. Okay, right now I am just going to chop up the onion. And actually, I'm going to just chop up the garlic. Woohoo! Onions are strong. And those are from the garden too. Peppers are almost done. Okay, and right now I'm just going to add the onion to the sausage. I'll let that cook. And then I'm going to also add the garlic. And I'm going to go ahead and add some Italian seasoning. I don't know, maybe a couple tablespoons. Because remember, I know number one, the sausage is already flavored with Italian seasoning, but my sauce that I made isn't. So okay, that's for the poppers. And here is the, this was from the San Marzano tomatoes from last year. And look how beautifully and thick that is. It's like a paste. I'm going to start with one can. And actually, you know what? I'm going to add another one. It smells great. I'm going to let that cook for a little bit. And I'm going to take out the poppers. So they were in there for 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. It looks so good. Stove. And the oven's still on because I am going to cook some bacon yet. And to this, I'm going to add, it's a Parmesan Romano. It's not really following a recipe, I guess. I'm just, I don't know, doing my own thing. But I love cheese. I love sausage. And I will be adding more cheese at the end when I top it off. And right now I'm going to taste it. Excellent. That cheese is melting in there. So I'm going to turn this way down just to let it cook a little. But I want to deal with the bacon I still have to cook and the jalapeno poppers. And they're probably too hot to try right now. So I will bring it back. Okay, so I went ahead and put these on a paper plate for now so they can cool down. It definitely has a bite to it. And I want to, of course, the jalapeno's hot. But I want to say that adding that paprika, because it was a hot paprika, definitely added to the heat. Totally delicious. So those I'm going to be putting in freezer containers. I might like put a level in a freezer container, then put foil and maybe another layer, just so that they don't stick together. But anyhow, okay, that's done, and now I am working on this. Okay, so here is a patty pan squash. I'm just going to cut it this way first. Okay, and I have one of these ballers, melon baller thing. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and scoop out what I can, just to see what the seeds look like in here. Not a whole lot of seeds in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill these up. And I have the oven preheating at 375. And I'm going to fill these up. I did this with the longer squash. Whoops. And then I left the bottom. And now I'm just going to fill that up. And it could stand up tall. It's filling up the patty pan. Okay, I'm going to move on to the peppers. And this is the, whoops, Hungarian hot. And I have also stuffed this with raw sausage and then cooked it, and that always worked out good with me. I just put marinara sauce on top, but I'm going to go ahead and do it this way this time. Finally, I stuffed all the peppers. Of course, the battery went dead, you know. So I'm just going to top these off with the mozzarella cheese. I did mix Parmesan Romano in the sauce, you know, with the sausage. But I'm going to top this off. And I'm going to go ahead and cook these at 375. Probably for, I don't know, I'll check just, you know, in about 20 minutes. And I did line this with tin foil to make cleanup a little bit easier. And then I have this one, which is all of the squash, which I'm going to do the same thing. Top it off with mozzarella. And of course, you do everything to the way you like it. I mean, if you don't like all that cheese, don't put all the cheese on. I love cheese. In fact, I don't know too many people that don't like cheese. And this is all part of the preserving, so, you know, I have all of this. It's just me. So, I'm going to go ahead and cook these. And the only thing I'll have to do when I have company or when I'm hungry, because I'm going to go ahead and cook all this, then I am going to freeze them. So I'll probably do like 6 in a container, you know, with the peppers and all this. And if I have a few people over for dinner, I could pull it all out, and all I have to do is heat it up. So, or I could just freeze it just the way it is, and without adding the cheese, and I could defrost it and then go ahead and bake it. I'm going to go ahead, I did it with the cheese, so I'm going to put it in the oven probably for about 20-25 minutes. Also, I just wanted to share with you, these are Anaheim peppers. And so yesterday I went ahead and, while these were fresh and whole, I went ahead and coated them with olive oil all the way around. And then I put them under the broiler, and I went ahead and charred them. Why do I have a hard time with this? I went ahead and charred them, and you just keep turning because you want them to blacken up, and you know, like this. And I just left them whole, and right now I just have them in this freezer bag, and because I I'm not sure exactly what I want to use them in yet. I could put them on a pizza, you know, chop them up. But for now, I mean, I could freeze these and take them out as needed. I could put it in a casserole dish. So, anyhow, I wanted to show you that. I forgot about that. So, okay, so here are the jalapeno poppers, and I'm just putting them in containers right now so I could put in the freezer. Here is another plateful, which probably won't make it to the freezer. So I'll probably just put it on a plate and put it in the refrigerator so I can snack on it. Okay, the squash is done. That's where I stuffed it with the sausage mixture that I cooked on top of the stove, and then I went ahead and stuffed the sausages. And if I were to stick a knife in there, they're just really tender, and that's what you're looking for. So I'm gonna let these cool down, and then here are the peppers. And this is also with that sausage mixture that I stuffed those. Topped them off with mozzarella cheese, and those are really tender as well. So that is the Hungarian hot peppers and what I had for the Cupinel. And the sauce I made, or actually the Italian sausage, I put in the freezer so I could defrost it when I have other peppers ready for stuffing. So anyhow, just wanted to share that with you. Let me see if I can raise that up. Okay, so I'm letting all that cool off over there. So I hope that helps you as far as different ways you can preserve your food from your garden. You can make meals ahead of time. And on another day, I'll show you what I do with all my cherry tomatoes. There's a couple different things that I do with those. You could dehydrate them. To me, they taste like candy. Another recipe I do is with the feta cheese block and cherry tomatoes and pasta. And I've also roasted the cherry tomatoes with onion. Anyhow, a lot of different things you could do. You can make sauce out of the cherry tomatoes. So anyhow, all right, that's about it. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this. And hopefully it gave you some ideas. Don't forget about the University of Minnesota, their webpage. If you're going to go ahead and blanch some food, it gives you the time frames of the different vegetables that would be blanched. Abby, give me 1 minute. So, all right, guys, take care, and I will talk to you on the next one. All right, bye.